Natasha Isenhour is a New Mexico based contemporary realist whose emotive landscapes and still lifes express a poignant, solitary beauty. Tonight, we find out where her love of art began, how she is inspired, and her residency at Ghost Ranch.
Natasha, thank you so much for joining us tonight to talk about your work. I wanted to start with how it all began. How did this love of art begin for you?
Oh, I think I've always been an artist in here someplace, and I guess most artists say that. I think my love for art started whenever I wanted a guitar at age 5, and I was given that at Christmas time. So, in terms of creativity, it started with that. But I do remember whenever I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, my mom was working, and she a friend of ours kept myself and this other friend of mine, and we would go swimming. We'd get through swimming, and we would come back in the house all shivery cold and draw birds. And I remember doing that very distinctly, and birds were a first love.
Well, I that leads me to ask when it comes to what inspires your work, what is it that inspires you and how does that translate onto the canvas?
I moved out to the desert 30 years ago, and I wasn't painting then. I was actually working a top secret DoD clearance job for the Pentagon at New Mexico Tech.
Wow.
Yeah. And I took an intro to oil painting class trying to keep my loans deferred. And I discovered that was in my heart, and it just came out. And so living here in the desert, what I love about it is the lonesome of it, but it's a
Mhm.
it's a happy lonesome to me. Quiet, reflective things that I see in the architecture, or I see it just out in the vast landscape, or old abandoned buildings. All those things feed it.
Now you have a whole work balance of work and life going on with your work. How do you balance practicing your painting against the teaching that you do?
About 20 years ago, I guess, I started teaching over at New Mexico Tech because I valued keeping the lights on and some food in the refrigerator.
Yep.
So I was teaching art over at New Mexico Tech, and I found that it really swallowed my time. But since then, I've adjusted, and I no longer work for the university, but I contract out and teach. And what I find with teaching is that the more I teach, the more I have to articulate my process and my why.
Mm.
And in doing that, I learn a lot about myself and a lot about my own process and what drives me to paint. So I'm learning to use the teaching time really as I'm teaching myself too.
Understood. So you have a residency going on right now at Ghost Ranch. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
This will be the sixth time I've done a 1 month residency at Ghost Ranch. And there's not a lot of electronics or signal or anything else up there, and it's very, very quiet. I have my own little home separate from studio, and it's actually the carrot at the end of the year of something that I get to look forward to doing whenever I've worked myself to death all year.
Mm,
And I really appreciate that time just to stay in my heart and create that way.
that's wonderful. So where can people learn more about you and your work?
www.natashaeisenhour.com. I also show at Ventana Fine Art in Santa Fe on Canyon Road.
Mhm.
And I've got a debut in Arizona coming, but I can't talk about it yet. And this painting behind me is the first of the group that's going to be going.
Oh,
But yeah, you
wonderful.
can go online and get a hold of me or look around at my work. And also Ventana, they keep about 50 pieces at any given time, so you can always look on their site for what's available there.
Wonderful. Well, Natasha, thank you so much for coming on tonight and sharing more about your work. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you for providing this beauty to the community.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. We'll be back.